One of my students sent a video to me on TikTok to get my opinion on what a particular creator has said regarding the question on the board. What's interesting is that the analysis of the creator that posted this question didn't sit right with the student of mine, because previously I told the student of mine what the rule says on questions or regarding questions like this. So immediately I proceeded to watching the video. I checked out the video and noticed that truly a lot of things were incorrect or were incorrectly said by the creator that posted this video. So what I did immediately after watching the video was to react and a comment by saying that, one, the answer is incorrect and that the analysis offered was also incorrect. I did also mention, I pointed out the rule of grammar that the creator had to go to study. And finally, I said I was going to look for a time like this to create a video addressing that particular question. And that, of course, is what I'm going to do in this video. So come along with me. The question is, one of the grammar rules that dash many people headaches. One of the grammar rules that dash many people headaches. That's what the question says. And after so much analysis, what the individual, the creator that analyzed this question said was that the answer to this question is B, option B, right? So is that correct? Is that wrong? We're going to find out. So before arriving at this question, this answer, what analysis, what explanation did this creator offer? So let's get to it. Now, the individual said that one of the grammar rules. So the individual circled out this. Okay, that was how he started. It is saying that what is in here has a lot, to do with this, which to an extent, yes, is correct. But the first mistake, even before all of the analysis, is that the structure of this sentence is incorrect. And I'm going to start by saying that that's the first problem, P1. That's the first problem, P1. The first problem for this question is that the structure of this sentence. Now, this isn't even a sentence. This isn't a sentence. What we have here in this question is a noun clause, a noun clause, a nominal clause. So, and you know that a nominal clause in this case, at least in this case, this nominal clause here, this noun clause is a subordinate clause, subordinate clause. This here, everything here is a subordinate clause, a dependent clause. And like I said, that of course is the first problem with this question analysis. Because when you have the structure of one of Concord in English language, when you have the structure of one word, you can have a subordinate clause. They should be a full sentence. So what I'm trying to say, in other words, is that this structure is incomplete. This should continue until we have another verb, and then we have maybe another subject in this sentence. This whole structure, this whole arrangement is incorrect. Now I'll explain. So let's get to it. So the individual is saying that this, one of the grammar rules, and that this of the grammar rules, this in bracket, is an adjective phrase that is talking, that is explaining what. Okay, that's right, but not entirely true. So in the process of saying that this is an adjective phrase that talks about this, the teacher, the creator in question, they say that this relative pronoun here, that, the relative pronoun that is modifying the number at the beginning of the structure. It's saying that this relative pronoun is talking about this. So the sentence will read like one that gives. So that's where the answer came from. That's how he came about. The answer gives. One that gives many people headaches. That's wrong. That's wrong because grammatically, this relative pronoun here has nothing to do with this number. It's directly talking about the grammar rules. Okay, and I'm going to explain. Let's break it down. Say this sentence as something like one of the people that dash, one of the people. So this is talking about an individual, one person, okay? One person out of a park, out of a group of people. Which group of people are you talking about? One individual out of a park, out of a group. So one of the people. Which people are you talking about? Which people are you talking about? Okay. One of the people that do something, maybe one of the people that sell. One of the grammar rules that give. So we have different grammar rules. Which of them are you talking about? Which grammar rules are you talking about here? Is it grammar rules that talk about subjunctives? Is it grammar rules that talk about how you can deal with the basic rules of Concord? In this case, we're talking about the grammar rules that do something. Which grammar rules exactly? Of course, this is the bone of contention, right? Something has happened to this one, okay? We want to say something about this particular grammar rules. But which grammar rules are we talking about? This is part of some set of grammar rules. Which of these part are you talking about? Okay, I'm talking about this particular grammar rule that belongs to this park. And so what are we saying about this park? This park, one of the grammar rules, one of the people that sell my compound. One of the people, which people are you talking about? You just think somebody walks up to you and says, one of the people has been arrested. One of the people has been arrested. One of my friends has been arrested. Okay? Then I ask you, which of my friends? Is it my friends that are in the UK? Is it my friends that are in Nigeria? Is it my friends that are in Oman? Is it my friends that are in Iran? You understand? So this relative pronoun here is talking about the grammar rules and not about this one. Okay? Everything here. So this, of course, the grammar rules that give many people headaches is a qualifier to what is here. Everything here from this article, this definite article, up until this point, everything here qualifies one. Do we understand that? As a result, this relative pronoun here is talking about the grammar rules. Okay, so that is where the second problem is P2. The P2 is in the fact that this relative pronoun is describing the grammar rules, in which this one belongs to. Are we clear with that? So that's what the second problem is, with the analysis of the creator in question. One of the grammar rules. Which of the grammar rules are you talking about? The grammar rules that give many people headaches. Now, this sentence should continue to have another verb, okay? And then maybe you have another thing. Okay, it all depends on what you want to have in the structure. So that said, the answers, the options given should have two answers, basically. if you have to go by the number rules of grammar. So one of the grammar rules, which grammar rules? The grammar rules that have given. So these P3, the options have problem 2. The options given have problem, and the 2 options are possibly the right answer. This could have been the answer, and this could have been the answer, and nothing would have been wrong. Okay. So this, to have said that this is the right answer, is actually very wrong. Okay. And of course, this leads to the conclusion that the creator in question must have generated this question all by themselves without going back to past questions or without recourse to grammar rules, to any linguistic authority. So, and I think that is a big problem. Beyond all of this explanation, the only reason the answer would have been gives is if you have the structure as one grammar rule that dash many people headaches dash, let's say subjunctives. So one grammar rule. You can see that from this structure, we don't have one of their grammar rules. We don't have that. What we have is one grammar rule, one individual that appeals to me, one philosophy rule that appeals to many people, is the law of utilitarianism. Okay, I'm just saying. So one grammar rule that appeals, one grammar rule that gives many people headaches is. So you have singular. But in the case where you have one of, there's this particular Concord type that is given as one of Concord. What does the rule say when you have one of Concord? The rule says that when you have one of Concord, you should have two subjects, right? Two subjects and two verbs. Now, okay, let's use this as an example. One of the grammar rules that many people headaches, dash, subjunctives. Let's just have this as an example. You can see I have a full stop here because this is a complete sentence. So one of the grammar rules that dash many people headaches, dash subjunctives. Now look at this, we have subjunctives. That is another subject. One, okay? We have grammar rules. These subjunctives here, okay, is the same as one, okay? And that is subject complement. Subjunctives here complement one is the same thing as this. Now look at, we have grammar rules, right? So if this and this refer to one unit, one identity, one thing, if this means the same thing as this, okay, it doesn't mean the same as this. So the grammar rules are standing alone. One is standing alone. Okay, remember the subjunctives in this case, and one refers to one individual, one identity, one unit of thing, one rule of grammar. Okay, subjunctive is one aspect of grammar. Okay, and that is what we're talking about here. For example, in this example, so one of the grammar rules. So we have certain grammar rules, a pack of grammar rules, and then we want to talk about just one of them. Okay, so you say one. So when you have this structure of one of Concord, the rule says that the V1 will be influenced, will be directed, or will be shaped by the subject that comes before the relative pronoun. That's the rule. While the second verb, the V2 here, the second verb here will be directed, the second verb there will be shaped, while the second verb here will be shaped by the number at the beginning of the sentence. So in other words, remember when you have a structure where you talk about a number at the beginning of the sentence, You have of, you have a particular, subject, and then you have another verb, and then you have another subject, and then you have another verb. Remember, the number controls the second verb. The number at the beginning of the structure controls the V2. The second verb, while the first verb in the sentence is controlled by the second subject. So that's how that works, and not that this relative pronoun, controls or, talks about what is here. Rather than this talking about this, the actual thing is that here is talking about the grammar rules. And to be very honest, I've seen a question like this several times in the past question, which is what I often use as an example with my students. And that specific question is, one of the people who dash oranges at the night market, dash being arrested. And then you have, okay, let's use this example. One of the people who dash oranges at the night market dash being arrested. We have one. This is the number. Look at the structure. One of the people. Which people are you talking about? Imagine the right will put to you and I say, hey, one of the people has been arrested. Ask me, the question should be, one of which people? One of which group are you talking about? Oh, one of the people who don't like Mr. President, for example. Who don't like? Okay, of course we're talking about Celia, not who don't like. One of the people, let me clean the right. One of the people who sell oranges. One of which people are you talking about? One of the people who sell oranges at the night market has been arrested. So the first verb here is shaped, is controlled by the noun, by the subject preceding the relative pronoun here. Okay, this is the noun, the people, preceding the relative pronoun. Okay, so the verb here is controlled by the noun coming before this relative pronoun, while the verb here, the V2, is controlled by the number at the beginning of the sentence. So in other words, in this, what you have here is two of the people who sell. Which people are you talking about? The people who sell at the night market have been arrested. That is if the number. So the number at the beginning of the part of the structure determines what the second verb will look like. The first verb is determined by the noun phrase or by the subject by the subject preceding the relative pronoun. So that's the basic rule, the simple rule that explains what the answer to this question is. So again, this is incorrect. The right answer is gives. And the topic that explains this is one of Concord. One of Concord. One of Concord. This is the Concord that explains this particular structure. So finally, what I'll say to fellow English language teachers is that it's impossible to know everything, but of course you can always do the best for your audience, the students who follow you, by at least going further down and researching what you want to talk about before you do that. Even I did that also. So that way, where you'll be putting into consideration the many students who look up to you. Thank you, and I hope that it does help to shed light on the concept of one of Concord and then to put this question into proper perspective. If you found the video useful and you'd like to see more of this content in the future, kindly click on the follow button, subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next time.